and welcome. I'm Mary Jo, also known as Sojo, and we're going to try and put this January boy gnome together today. Alright, so let's open it out, and I'm doing the petites. Take a look at what we have here. Now I need to make a bunch of half square triangles here first. So let me figure this out for just a second. Alright, so I'm looking at it and we're going to figure out these half square triangles, and it looks like we need to make JJC half square triangles, and let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and I need to make 12 of those. Alright, so I'm just going to line them up. Alright, I'll be back in a minute. Alright, so we have all of our half square triangles sewn together. So now we're just going to press these half square triangles. Now, the instructions didn't tell me to press to one side or the other, which is actually how I prefer. So I'm just going to go ahead and press them all open. So I'm just using a pressing stick here. And I'm going to use my iron, which I have a Panasonic cordless iron, which I much prefer because it has no cord. I know before I would get all tangled up in the cords, and I even had an iron fall over on top of me, and I have a burn mark on my arm from it, a scar. It did not feel good. So I much prefer the cordless. So I have a pressing stick. I also have the wool pressing mat underneath. And I sew with a Baby Lock Accomplish, which is a fast straight stitch only machine. It's 15 or 1600 stitches per minute. I don't remember which, but that's what I sew with. I also have a Baby Lock Soprano if I need something from more like a decorative stitch. Just gonna press all these open. Yes, and I keep all of my chained half square triangles together. I don't cut them apart yet. Alright, I will be back in just a minute after I get done with all this. Alright, I am done with all of those half square triangles. Just had to grab some scissors. So now I just need to lay this out in my grid pattern here. Uh-oh, I'm missing something. Let me figure out where it went. Alright, I found it. So we're done with my pressing stick. We're going to turn this around. Just like this. So let's see, I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Those go here as well. Alright. Now I'm just going to put some of these half square triangles in. Goes this way. And this goes this way. Alright, I'm going to speed this up a little bit while I do that. Now I still have 3 more rows to lay out after that, but since this is full, I'm going to go ahead and stop here and start pinning this together. I'm going to pin all of these. In case anybody's new here, I pin. I like to pin. I pin everything. I even thought about pinning the half square triangles, but I didn't. Just because I like to pin. So I'm going to pin this whole row together. And then as soon as I pin this row together, I'll fast forward me pinning the rest together. And we're getting there. One more. Okay, so I have this whole first row pinned together. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to turn it upside down, just like that. Then I'm going to stack this next row, turn that upside down, put it on top. Alright, we're going to fast forward this a little bit. See ya in a few. Okay, so now I have all of those rows pinned together. So I'm going to finish laying out the last couple rows. Just laying these out. Now I know Cotton Cuts had offered something I had never seen before. This interfacing grid that you could just lay these on and then iron them down and then sew them that way. However, that didn't look like anything I was interested in, but I had never seen that product before. So that was interesting. Just finished laying them out. Alright, I will see you back in a few minutes. I'm going to speed this up while I finish laying these out. and then pinning the last couple rows together. I'll see you back in a few. Alright, I have all of those pinned and turned upside down, and these are all my extra pieces, which I will save for a later time. And it does say in here that you have extra parts and pieces to change elements that you would like to adjust. So there is supposed to be extra pieces. Alright, so now we're going to go over to the sewing machine and sew these all together. Alright, so we are now back at my sewing machine. So I've got these all stacked up. So I'm just going to take it and start sewing down. And what I do is something that I had heard referred to as web piecing. So I'm just going to sew these all the way down on this first row. That's all I'm doing. I'm just taking and sewing all these down. And since I've got them stacked up, I just have to take one, take it over, and sew. Another thing I like to do is sometimes I use that there and then just catch my pins. Because I like my pins. I pin everything. Alright, we're getting close to almost being done sewing that first row. Now, just because I like to pin doesn't mean that's for everybody. I think everybody has to do what works for them. And I know there's a lot of people that don't like to pin at all. Me, I love to pin. Alright, this is the last one. Alright, I'm just going to grab an ender here. And then I'm going to cut this. Leave those all together. Go up to the top. I'm going to cut that leader off. And then I'm going to start sewing my row 2 all the way down. And then when we're done with row 2, we'll just go on to the next one. Alright, I'm going to speed it up so you don't have to sit here and watch this. Alright, we're finishing up with this last one right here. I'm going to take my little cut this. Okay, now I am going to leave all these strings. I am not going to cut them. And then I'm going to take them over to my pressing and pinning area. And we're going to do some pressing. I am going to cut this off though. Alright, take you with me. Alright, so we're back over here at my pressing mat. I'm just going to turn this upside down and press some seams. we're just gonna alternate directions. So I got my iron here. We're gonna start right here. Press that way. And then for this one, we're gonna press the other way. All right, I'm going to speed this up here. All right, so I've pressed all of my seams to one side or the other. So now, of course, I have more pinning. So I'm going to start here. Start pinning this first row. So, do you guys like batiks? I personally love batiks, but I have heard some people say that they don't like them. I like them, especially some of the ones that have more designs in them. These are pretty just basic, but that's okay. I love batiks. Alright, I almost have that first and second row pinned together. Nesting those seams all the way across. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and speed this up so you don't have to sit here and watch me do this. Alright, see you in a few. Alright, I have my gnome all pinned together. So I just have to take it over to the sewing machine, sew it all together, and then give it one fining press, and we will be done. Alright, see you in a few. Alright, I have it all sewn together. Just have to do one final press. And I don't know if you saw or not, but I did have one that was turned in the wrong direction that I had to fix. One block. But that's okay. Easy fix. Alright, I'm just going to finish pressing this and then we'll be done. Alright, and here he is. My final gnome block. It's off just a little bit right there, but that's okay. Alright, see you next time. Bye.